Welcome to the Veterans in Politics International Candidate Forum. I'm Natalie, Winslow, your moderator. I'd like to thank our sponsors, Ron Q for Clark County Treasurer, Michael Broadway Real Estate, Real Water, and Lakeside Business Suites. Can I ask the panel to introduce themselves?
Robert Foust, U.S. Army VIP member.
George Chehade VIP member, Internet Sales and Consulting.
Lena Ocasio, Air Force veteran and real estate broker in town.
Troy Warren, VIP member.
Bletnitsky, Coast Guard veteran and technology consultant.
Thank you. Can I have the candidates introduce themselves and give us a 2-minute bio?
Hello, my name is Jay Craddock. I've lived in this town for 55 years. I went through the Clark County School District from elementary school all the way through high school. And after I graduated from El Dorado High School, I attended Columbia University in New York City where I achieved my bachelor's degree. I returned to Las Vegas and I became a North Las Vegas firefighter paramedic. I went on to become a paramedic educator and a fire educator. I taught advanced cardiac life support to paramedics here in town for about 10 years. During that time, I also achieved my master's degree from the Greenspun School at UNLV in public administration. My father was a legislator in District 20, which has changed a little bit in the years that have passed since then, but I'm very familiar with the legislative process. I was also at Boise State, where I was the Speaker of the Assembly, and that was back in 1977. In 1977, we passed legalized marijuana in the state of Nevada according to Boise State. So it's nice to see that my generation is finally caught up with the thinking back then. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Ron McGinnis, and I moved to Las Vegas in 2005. I made Las Vegas my home. I'm a U.S. Marine Corps veteran, Vietnam era. Fortunately for me, I did not have to go to combat. When I went in '71, they were pulling all the Marines out of Vietnam, so I got credit for the era. I don't have any previous legislative experience. However, I do have experience as a concerned citizen. I don't like the way our people are being treated by our government. Taxes are too high. And it's, I'm just sick and tired of being sick and tired. And as a concerned citizen, as a taxi driver here in Las Vegas, that's why I'm running. And if elected in November, I plan on doing everything in my power to make sure that we improve the quality of life of our citizens. We have too many veterans that are homeless and on the street, and we need to make sure that we have a good program to get them off the street, get them back into the mainstream of life. Thank you.
Thank you. We're going to go into our first question.
Bletnitsky, Coast Guard veteran. Nevada is ranked 50th in the country, or maybe even 51st now, as far as education goes. What do you think that you as a legislator can do to improve our school system? You know, reward good teachers, get rid of the bad teachers, even though the union doesn't want that to happen. What's your plan, and what do you want to see happen?
Jay Craddock. The school system that I grew up in is certainly different than the one we have now. I've walked through the entire state of Nevada, 630 miles. I talked to a lot of high school kids in Winnemucca and Battle Mountain and other places as I crossed across the state. And then I got to Clark County, and I hear things from the folks here in Clark County about how we don't receive the amount of money that we're due. And then I hear in the back of my head the same things that were being said up north. The people in the north don't like us because they feel that we keep too much money, too much of the money that should be shared with them. And so we have a back and forth there. We have the same kind of thing going on with school teachers. The school teachers feel as though the money is not being properly allocated, okay? They feel as though the money is given to the Clark County School District in a big lump, a big bucket of money, so to speak, and that the school board people divide it up the way they see fit. And at the end of the day, there's not enough money left to pay the school teachers a living wage, a wage where they can excel in life and not have to worry about their car payment next month. Those are the kind of things that keep a school teacher from achieving their potential. Maslow's hierarchy of need shows this very well. All of us have needs, and if those needs aren't met, we can't create the environment that we want for our children. So I hope that answers your question.
I agree that it seems that the teachers feel like that they're not getting enough. Every year at the end of the summer, it's getting ready for school to start back. The teachers claim that they have to spend part of their own money for supplies and pencils, paper, books, whatever the students may need because they're not getting enough funds from the school board. You also have TV stations, radio stations having to fill the bus campaigns. And I know that there's quite a bit of money that goes into the school system here, goes into the north. I don't know what they're doing with it, but they're obviously not spending it on the students. And we need to make sure that the teachers are awarded and promoted on merit, and we need to make sure that they're doing what they're doing. We need to weed out the bad and reward the good.
Troy Warren, VIP member. As of recently, our Second Amendment has been taking a beating like I've never seen it in my 53 years. We have one particular person running for governor that wants to start banning stuff and just making all kinds of claims and accusations. So if elected as senator, what are your views around the Second Amendment? And two, if the governor decides that he gets elected and he decides he wants to start banning stuff, are you for it or are you opposed to it?
As a citizen of Nevada, the United States, I strongly support the Second Amendment. Like I said earlier, I'm a former Marine, I'm a gun owner, and I will not support any legislation that tries to impede or take away from our Second Amendment rights as citizens of this country. And like I said, we have to stand up for our constitutional rights to bear arms and protect ourselves.
This is an interesting question. We've made so many advances with the weaponry over the years since the time of the Constitution. And we have built things that were created to keep our soldiers safe from harm's way, give them an advantage over our enemies. And now we have brought these things into common use or common availability within the country. There was a time when some of these high velocity weapons were banned and they were not allowed in this country. And during that time, we saw a drop in violent crimes. Okay, What I would like to propose is that we don't look at things as assault weapons or military weapons. We look at the velocity of the projectile. Okay? If a projectile is forced into the human body at a 3,000 mile per second ratio, that creates a huge wound. And I'm a paramedic for 26 years. I've seen some of those wounds, and it's not pretty. It's the kind of thing that kills a person very quickly. Now, there are other weapons that we can use for hunting purposes, and we can use for self-preservation. We can use also to keep ourselves safe in our homes. And these weapons are available. But the high velocity stuff and the availability of things to disguise where a weapon is being shot from, such as smokeless ammunition, and things that muffle the sound of the rifle fire, and things that make a weapon so that it can be fired more quickly. These are not things that a sportsman needs to hunt a deer. These are not things that are going to protect us if our military decides they're going to come after us. Okay? These are things that are in the middle. These are things that have been developed to keep our soldiers out of harm's way. Okay? So to ban them, I'm going to say yes. Okay? I'm also going to say yes, that we need to make sure that people who buy weapons are mentally fit. If somebody is ill and they're out there buying a knife, I don't want them to buy a knife. I don't want them to buy an electrical cord if they're going to use it to hurt themselves or hurt somebody else. Okay? These are things that we have to consider, and therefore I also would think that if somebody wants to own a military high-velocity weapon, that they should have to go through a very in-depth screening process. I believe that the Second Amendment to our Constitution is important, and I support the Second Amendment, but I also support the Constitution where it says that we should have domestic tranquility. So those two things have to be balanced. We need to balance domestic tranquility with our ability to own weapons for sports and for protection. That's how I feel.
Lena Ocasio, Air Force veteran. My question is, what would be the #1 issue you would like to see a bill passed if you were elected?
Well, the #1 issue, for me, I would guess is that, if you look at the way over the last, say, 4 years, taxes have increased, and what are we getting for our taxes, for our tax dollars? I want to see where we can cut spending to where we can increase the taxes that people have to pay. It's a crying shame that government spends our tax dollars for whatever, you know, you never know, and then they expect to tax us to death to pay for it. I say that the state should have to live the way we live as families, live within our means. If we can't afford to pay for whatever it is that whether it be new roads or new schools or whatever it may be, if we can't afford it, don't pay, don't do it. I mean, if I can't afford to buy a new pair of shoes, I wear the ones I got till I got holes in them. I'm a true conservative. Anytime I spend something for my personal use, I make sure that I get my money's worth, and I will make sure that the taxpayers of this state get their money's worth out of what they're paying.
I think Ron and I disagree a little bit here. One of the things that we need to look at when we talk about whether we pay too much taxes or too little taxes is the way that the federal system works with their grants. Okay? A lot of the federal grants come when you have matching funds. Okay? The state of Nevada is set up into a situation where we are so poor and our departments are so poor and so tightly regulated that there's not enough money in them to go after the matching funds that are available from the federal government. Okay? The thing that I would propose to you is that we set up a fund in our state budget for our departments and our committees to reach over to and grab onto these funds for the ability to get matching federal money. Because as you know, we're still going to pay our federal taxes. Our federal taxes are going to go to the feds. And the only way that we can get some of those back is with matching funds from the state or from the county or from these departments. So I would like to see us set up a fund where these departments can reach in and get money so that they can go after federal dollars that are available. Hello?
George Chehade VIP member, Internet Sales and Consulting. Jay, I have a question for you, and Ron, you could also comment on this. I was reading in an article, the Las Vegas Review-Journal, back in October of 17, and Jay, you had mentioned that District 21 has economic and environment issues that need to be addressed now, and I will just do that, you said. I will do just that. Can you discuss what those economic and environment issues are?
Thank you for that. Thank you for that question, George. Yes, we have economic issues, which were pointed out again in the newspaper today and on the internet. If you look at the paper where it talks about incentives for businesses and for economic development, you can see where Sunrise Manor and District 21, the outline of District 21 is set aside and excluded from receiving any of those economic funds. Okay. Now, that's a main indicator right there. We also have a situation where all 4 local area sewer treatment plants are located in Sunrise Manor and in District 21. All 4 of them. Wow. North Las Vegas, Clark County, Las Vegas, and even Henderson over on the edge of Henderson is in District 21. And all those sewer treatment plants, sometimes they put out horrible smells, and those horrible smells influence and impact the environment and also the economy, because nobody wants to put a restaurant next to a sewer treatment plant. So these things are almost a blight on District 21 and Sunrise Manor. And there has to be some way that we can be compensated for our, I don't want to call it willingness, but the put upon, how we've been put upon by the other entities and their sewer treatment plants be in our area. I mean, we're not in North Las Vegas. North Las Vegas sewer treatment plant is in our area. Okay, we're not in Las Vegas either, but Las Vegas sewer treatment plant in our area. So these things, and there's also this issue, which is kind of hidden, because the pipes underneath the ground damage the soil, and damage the streets. Okay? Now, is the pipe coming from Sunrise Manor or District 21? No, it's coming from North Las Vegas or Las Vegas. It's running through to get to the sewer treatment plant. And therefore, the soil's damaged, the road service is damaged. But who's charged for the repair? It's Sunrise Manor that's charged, even though the pipe is coming from somewhere else. So you might live in Sunrise Manor, you might live in Summerlin, George, but your sewer's flowing through Sunrise Manor, and it's affecting our economy, and it's affecting the way that the people live in Sunrise Manor, and you need to know that.
Robert Foust. Oh, sorry.
Good. Well, I think that's one thing that we can agree on. These other areas, North Las Vegas, and even Henderson, they should be made to compensate the residents of Sunrise Manor for their sewage coming through our area, and at times, I smell it. And it's, if you've ever lived or had to drive past a sewage treatment plant, especially in the summertime when it's hot, that foul odor is ungodly. Something does need to be done about that.
Robert Foust, U.S. Army VIP member. So if you're in the Senate, what do you think about transgender restrooms in the schools and in public buildings? Are you for or against it? Would you support it? And how are we going to fund it if you have to build a third restroom in every public facility in the state?
Personally, I'm against it. I understand that there are a lot of folks in this day and time that, boys thinking they're girls and girls thinking they're boys. And, I wonder what happened to all the testosterone that was in the male DNA when I was growing up, and I feel like that if a person, say a young boy, feels like that he's trapped in a female body, unless they've had the the surgery to completely change his gender from male to female, that he should not be allowed to use the girls' restroom. I just feel like that, in that case, something could happen, and we're going to be opening up the school board and the school system for lawsuits, and I just don't agree with it. And I feel like that they should have to use the restroom of the gender that's on their birth certificate.
Once again, great question. I had the same question posed to me in Winnemucca, Nevada, and also in Battle Mountain, Nevada, by high school students. And the first time I heard it, I was almost shocked at it coming from younger kids like that. But they had the answer for this problem, and it's all about respect. It's about being able to respect the other person enough not to really care what they're doing. And then it's also about respect enough not to flaunt whatever it is that you have to other people. So what they suggested in their questioning of me and their answers, because I asked them for their answers, was let people go on and be people. Let them think as they will, but let them respect other people, and let them have that respect and share that respect with other people. And I think that a lot of our issues will disappear, especially about making the third bathroom or fourth bathroom or a bathroom for each and every person. Yes.
Who's got the mic?
You have another question? I know, I'm good.
That'll conclude our questions. Gentlemen, you have 2 minutes to ask the panel for your endorsement.
Folks, I walked 630 miles across the state of Nevada to bring my job application to you. I'm serious about this. I've spent my own money. I've not taken any corporate donations. I've received some larger donations from some of my high school friends. And it's been a wonderful experience going through this process. It's been scary, and it's been rewarding. I would reach out to you and say that I have talked with many veterans along the way. We discussed things such as the Veterans Administration and also medical care for veterans and how it was dispersed in rural areas of Nevada, how some people love their VA medicine and how other people hate it. It's a difficult situation. I believe that the VA should be the gold standard. The VA medicine should be the gold standard for our country. The veterans who have served our country deserve the absolute best, and I believe that. I also believe that veterans are trained in a way that makes them exceptional workers and exceptional people that we can count on. So in jobs that are available, in state jobs, even in private jobs, I think that veterans should get preferential treatment over just the regular Joes that have not received that special treatment or that special education that veterans have, and those that have not experienced the life forces of being a veteran. So I would really request your endorsement. I appreciate it. I will continue to fight for veterans throughout my life. So thank you very much.
I will fight with every breath in my being to make sure that we improve the quality of life for veterans and make sure that we address the veteran suicide rate, the veterans' mental health, and because as a veteran myself, I've seen a lot of veterans who have come back from combat and they have post-traumatic stress syndrome and they get hooked on drugs, and we have got to make sure that we take care of our veterans and make sure that the VA health system is the best. I have my choice card where, there's been times when my VA doctor has recommended a certain procedure or MRI or whatever, and if I'd have gotten it through the VA, would have had to wait 6 months, and through the choice program, I was able to get it in about 3 weeks. And I think that we should make sure that we make that program stronger and to where veterans can get the quality care they need in a timely manner. And I just want to make sure that we improve the quality of life for every student in this state and every person in this state, make sure that each household, after they pay their bills, have enough left over to enjoy life. I'm 64 years old, and by the time the election comes around in November, I'll be 65. I'm missing a few teeth, but I'm not missing anything in the head. I got my degree from the School of Hard Knocks, and I want to give back to my community. Thank you.
Thank you, gentlemen. Thank you to the panelists, and thank you to our sponsors, Ron Q for Clark County Treasurer, Michael Broadway Real Estate, Real Water, and Lakeside Business Suites.